Hi, my name is Alyssa Gabriela Morales, and I wrote Space Please. So one of the questions I got was, what inspired you to write this play? And I want to say that my biggest inspiration was COVID. This was written at the beginning of COVID, and it was written about things that I was seeing happening, unfolding around me on social media and in my own family. And it was honestly a moment where I stepped back and kind of reflected on exactly the kind of people that we thought we were and we turned out being, while we were forced to be in such isolated quarters and close quarters, um, with those that we love. So that was kind of the nexus of this idea, and from that I created these two people, um, and I wanted to see kind of how they would get along under these circumstances. And that kind of leads me to my next question, which was, how did you find the rhythm in the banter between the characters? And that came a lot from, I guess, my biggest inspirations in TV and movies. I love when characters have quippy dialogue that kind of cuts you in unexpected places as it starts to build. And like I said, once you create these characters, they start coming to life around you. And so, all I really had to do was find who these people were. And once I found who these people were, it was so easy to decide, how they talked to one another and what attracted them about each other. So that was, something that came with developing those characters, and keeping their real hearts and souls in mind. So yeah, the banter kind of came from the characters I created, and it also came from all those great shows we love to watch. Who doesn't love some quick wit? And the last question is, um, whether or not Catherine realizes all of the red flags around her in Robert. And that's such an interesting question to me, because I think a lot of people see this play differently and they read this play differently. And then when they see it and actually watch it, it comes off differently. So, everybody has a different hero. To some people, Robert is the hero in this story, and to some people it's Catherine. And you just never know. It really is telling, I guess, about each individual person who comes in contact with this play, who they resonate more with and who to them comes off as more red flaggy, I guess. I'm not sure that either of them are particularly terrible people. I didn't write them to be, and if you read that into it, then I I mean, the art is yours once you watch it, so that's completely up to you, and I understand that. But I did not write them to be evil, and I don't think either of them have malintent. I do sincerely think that they love one another, and I think that they are both trying their hardest. Now, whether or not they are together a match made in heaven, who knows? I'm married, and I've been married for 6 years now, and whether or not we were meant to be, I have no idea. But I can say that he's a good person, and I'm trying to be a good person every day. And I think that the way that we affect one another is important. And maybe in this moment, it's not Robert's brightest moment of how he chooses to handle this situation. And maybe it's not Catherine's. Who's to say, really? So whether or not Catherine sees red flags, that might be years down the line for her. But in this moment, I don't think she sees red flags in Robert's behavior. any more than Robert sees red flags in Catherine's. I think that they're both trying to figure it out, and they're both young, and they're working on it. So thank you so much for your questions and for this experience in general. Ruben, as always, is amazing and has put together something really incredible and has such amazing patience for all of us. So thank you so much for this opportunity.